Hello pigs and birds, I'm Flexbird and today I will tell you about what is happening to Angry Birds now. Why Rovio removed all Angry Birds games from App Store and Play Market, new Angry Birds games and Angry Birds on Netflix. Let's fly! And sorry for my English.
And we're launching, and we're crashing. Let's hit the pigs till they all go pop. We're the best birds, but we're angry. If you take our eggs, we're never gonna stop. Every female library will get 3 stars and set you straight. Maybe find a golden egg and win until the next update. Screw the pig.
Now you can download old Angry Birds games like Classic, Season, Space, Epic and others only from your app library, if you download them early on this account. And so why Rovio removed them? Let's figure it out. Rovio had written that they take out some games for test purpose. Thanks to YouTuber Yai565, he noticed it. But then Rovio write in their support the official answer. Some of the older Angry Birds games have remained unchanged for quite some time, while we have directed our focus to our newer titles. Rather than continually updating these older games to remain compatible with changing devices and marketplace requirements, we have decided instead to focus on providing incredible experience in our active games. This means that Angry Birds Classic will not be available for download anymore. If you have previously downloaded the game, you can still install it from cloud. To do this, follow the guide for your App Store, iTunes Store or Google Play Store. Okay, that explains everything, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Because games like Fight and Stella, which Rovio closed long ago and official, deleted. But games like Classic and Seasons can be found on Google. And so, why Rovio did not delete them? I don't know. I can only say that they deleted Rio, Star Wars and Star Wars 2 because they lost the license to Rio and Star Wars. Those games wouldn't have had to go unless Rovio paid a hefty license renewal, assuming the brand owners even allowed them to. One of Reddit users wrote this. Rovio had removed Bad Piggies but then returned it. And why? Test completed or what? Rovio, why didn't you return Bad Piggies but other old Angry Birds games did not? So we know that there is a hope Rovio can return old games. And which games Rovio still support? There are 3 really good games, Angry Birds 2, Bad Piggies and Angry Birds Friends. 2 games which some people really like, Evolution and Transformers. Angry Birds Explorer is game just for kids. Angry Birds AR Isle of Pigs is interesting, but it looks like a beta version and Rovio don't engage it. I like Angry Birds Pop, it is one of the first Angry Birds match-free game. But I hate Angry Birds Match, Angry Birds Blast and Dream Blast. And Angry Birds Blast is still okay. For change it is normal, but Dream Blast and Match? Just why? Angry Birds fans likes screenshots games or games with interesting gameplay, but Rovio creates similar match-free games. I understand that Rovio need money and match 3 is very popular genre of games, but they made 7 match-free games for 4 years. That's a bit much, don't it? How do you think? Fortunately, new Angry Birds games is not much, but they still awful. In March 2020, Rovio has started soft launch of Angry Birds Legends on Android and iOS in some countries. It is a role-playing game. The player starts playing with a female human. The game's gameplay is similar to Angry Birds Epic, except it is 3D and uses cards. After beating the first enemy, it is possible to play as Red, in which you have to defeat the first boss, Fireman Pig. The game uses humanoid birds and pigs models, and the humans are placeholder. The game is modified version of Chronix of Legends, released just by Dark Matter Studios and add to their game Angry Birds in order to someone will play in these games. Okay, the game most likely will be closed, and it's for the best. Next game, Angry Birds Tennis, was soft launched in February 2020 in the App Stores. As said above, the game is played like tennis and is literally tennis. The player needs to win a match of the game in the levels with characters that are following: Red, Chuck, Bomb, Silver, Pig, Foreman Pig, Gary, Courtney or Leonard, and on various locations such as Cobalt Plateaus, Bird Island, etc. There are various games models and the player can play against another player. The tennis is played in a rectangular area with a net that divides two parts, the player and the other player's part. Each character is equipped with a slingshot rocket. The player has to pull back to perform and front lunge and swipe to their side to make a side diagonal lunge. If the player does not hit a ball, the characters lose health. After some matches, a character will activate its super and which it can shoot a ball that will make more damage. The pigs also return in order to play tennis with the birds. The game has in-app purchases. The game has reminded me Angry Birds Football, but that game was closed and I think Angry Birds Tennis will be closed too. And the last game which released in this year is Angry Birds Casual. It was soft launched in the USA and some other countries on Apple's App Store on March 2020. The game is a slingshot game in which the players have to drag the rubber of the slingshot with the bird and aim it at the target, which are caged hatchlings and square pigs. What? There are various unlockable characters and again in quiet style, and they have their original abilities, except for Red. There are sections for each level just like in Angry Birds 2. Each level has quests, like the match games, such as freeing hatchlings on gem, etc. The game is based off a lot of Angry Birds Dream Blast features and graphics. The birds now have abilities that activate on contact with touching blocks, this and cannot be activated by tapping. There is also an anger meter that fills up by breaking blocks which, once filled, will make the next bird bigger and stronger when the player uses the anger meter ability. In each level there are moves which are flings of the slingshot. Each fling costs one move. Each move gives a random bird, and if you run out of moves, you lose the level. In game there are 4 playable characters. Chuck, normal ability. On contact, Chuck backs up and dashes a medium legs distance through blocks, damaging on blocks he pierces through. Charge ability. Goes slightly farther and deals more damage. Bomb, normal ability. On contact, explodes dealing damage in radius around bomb. This is less active than in other slingshot games, as bomb is unable to break into the heart of structures and instead explodes immediately on impact. Chased ability deals a bigger, more damaging explosion. Silver, normal ability. On contact, Silver slams into the ground, piercing through structures below in a short range. Chade's ability deals more damage with her dive downwards. Stella, normal ability. On contact creates a single bubble dome that lifts up all media inside it and pops after about 1.5 seconds, dropping the media to damage more media. Chade's ability creates a massive bubble able to carry more blocks. Red, normal ability. On contact, Red causes a ruckus, targeting 5 random objects, hatchlings, and damaging them. Chade's ability deals more damage with each hit and targets more blocks with his ability. Hatchlings. The hatchlings must be free to be collected and count towards your goal for the stage. Hatchlings can be in cage which need to be brought to the floor to be freed from the jar and collect. The opposite of the caged hatchlings are balloons which must rise to the top of the stage to be collected. Another objective of the hatchlings is a frozen hatchling, who is trapped inside an ice cube. To melt it, you must clear the light way to the cube, destroying in the obstacles piglets. The piglets also appear in their baby version. Their idle animations show that they have stolen the eggs hatchlings. They must be damaged enough, whether by contact of birds or enough media hitting them. They are cubes instead of being round. The game's art is the same as Angry Birds Dream Blast, and it's also a mix between the classic design and movie design. And for my opinion, the game is really... It hasn't got a plot and we don't understand what is going on here. We just changed hatchlings models to pigs and so they are cubes. They use style from Dream Blast and so game hasn't got interesting location and great backgrounds. It is all casual. Levels is boring and game is very easy. We have not got a challenge. In other games it was really difficult to pass the 3-star level, but not in this one. In this game you even don't think when you will use Bird's ability. Angry Birds games are enough casual, but Rover made more casual game. It's brilliant. Someone can say the game is just for kids. Yes, I think kids will like Angry Birds casual, but no children play in Brawl Stars, Minecraft, I don't know, maybe PUBG or Clash of Clans. They can play this game for a week, but then it will be tired to say. And fans of Angry Birds like games like Friends, Angry Birds 2, Bad Piggies, Angry Birds Pop maybe, and so why they want to play this game if they can play in Angry Birds 2. So I think no one needs this game. I hope Rover will close Angry Birds casual. New Angry Birds games are bad, but its animation project now is normal. I think Angry Birds Movie 3 will be, because second film raised money. Now Rover released Angry Birds on the Run series. It is parody of the old videos made by fans of Angry Birds with plush toys. And for my opinion, it is funny and interesting. I think many of you watch it. After last year's release of Angry Birds Movie 2, Rover, the next of the franchise, is now taking these characters to small screen for the first time with an animated Netflix series to launch in 2021. Titled Angry Birds Summer Madness, the show will take its cue from the humor and tone of the Angry Birds movie franchise, while revealing a fresh new look, according to a press release. The order of 40 11-minute episodes for Summer Madness These feature Red, Bomb, Chuck, and a cast of new characters. The premise sits twin birds in a summer camp setting under the questionable guidance of the counselor Mighty Eagle. As an official logline reads, explosive antics, improbable pranks, and crazy summertime adventures see the bird pushing boundaries and breaking all the rules while fending off the brush and obnoxious pigs of the other side of the lake, who seem hellbent on causing as much mayhem as possible. Summer Madness is a development through Netflix, Cake and Rovio. Rovio's CMO Will Hedgery says Angry Birds animated content plays a key role in our long-term franchise strategy, and I really waiting this animated series. And so new Angry Birds games really bad, but Angry Birds on Netflix call very interesting. So let's waiting and hope that Rovio released interesting Angry Birds games and bring back old games.